So, how's progress with the DNS records going? Does that look like it's getting done?
Yeah, so let me see what you said last. Okay, so you sent me what it needs exactly. Okay, I'm gonna send this to Red Van and hopefully he knows how to do this, but it looks pretty easy. Worst comes to worst, if the only issue I don't like is like our like website and everything is hosted through like Bankless DAO, and like the DNS is being hosted through like Red Van right now, and it's like all kind of just patchwork together. I think it might even be a good idea in the future to like think about maybe we just spin up a site that's dedicated just to the DAO grants. You know what I mean? And it's not like a subdomain off of the main domain. And then that way we have more control over it. I don't think it'd be that big of a deal personally. Like if we had like links on the main website or something going to a separate domain that's like dedicated to the grant program, like I don't really see an issue with that. So I don't know what you guys think about that. It might be easier for some of these things
Yeah, I mean, we
rather than
could.
trying to fight with other people trying to get stuff, mobilized.
Yeah, we could host um, a subdomain of Dowpunks on like WordPress, for example, or something, and basically just build that subdomain on WordPress, and then have easy access to changing around buttons and kind of just say changing the wording on something. For example, there's like energy loss in just like trying to change some simple wording on like the explainer page or something. If we have to go through this whole process every time we want to make any small change to the website, so that might be smart.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I think I used to do a lot of web development stuff, but I'm just to make sure I understand correctly. So I'm looking at this DNS record that you sent me. So Redvan, all he has to do is put this DNS record in, and I'm assuming though the only thing he has to change on here is the value. Or no, actually, sorry, it'd be a CNAME. Okay, I see. You have it where it's already set up. So it'd be CNAME apply, and then points to CNAME tally.so. So if he puts those records in exactly like that, it's going to automatically point to your form then at that point, right?
Trying to look at something. Yeah, yeah. Tally does all of the back end, and
So he
I
just
mean
has to
that's
put
the
that
only
exact
instructions
record.
that it gave to do, and it says that it
Yeah.
takes care of everything else. So I mean, he has to
Okay.
create
Yeah, I think that's it.
apply.dowpunks as a subdomain, and then enter that as the um, in the records. So,
Yeah, I think it automatically creates it as a subdomain at that point. Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'll send this to him. All right, I'm gonna send it to him right now. He's super fast. He'll probably have this done by like tomorrow morning. He's my time.
yeah, and then there's the kind of grants landing page where we would have a brief explainer about our intention for the grants. Um, Basically, somewhere for somebody to land so they don't just get dumped straight into the form because they might want to know a little bit about the grants but not actually apply. So I figured we could replace, and I don't know, like you were saying, the current website configuration might be a pain to change, but like Mint is obviously an irrelevant button at this point. Would be nice to get rid of that just to like inspire confidence in the project. But also, if we could just put a grants button there that points to like dowpunks.io/grants, or I guess if we did the thing that you were saying with a subdomain, that would take you to apply.dowpunks.io, which we would host on WordPress, and then have the link to the grant or to the application from there. But
Yeah,
that would be different from what we're doing right now, sending these records over to. I forgot who you said it was, but
yeah. I don't mind setting up like a separate domain and a separate website, and like, you know, I could set all that up for us to use, and like we'd at least have some centralized control so that we don't like lose access. I wish we would have set up the original DAOPunk's website like that, but I was like so consumed in just trying to get the mint to actually like work that I wasn't too concerned about like the logistics of how the website was getting set up. But now, yeah, like it's being hosted with Bankless, and as we all know, like contributors change. So like we were working with like one certain developer, but I don't know if he's all that active over there anymore. So it's like I have to go search somebody out over there that can help us.
That overachiever. I think he had apologized for being late on the response and then said he was going to do it, but then he was unresponsive again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's just a product of like, you know, he's just somebody that helped us who got paid like on a project basis, but yeah, he's not getting paid to like do this for anybody. So yeah, that's probably a product of that,
yeah.
unfortunately.
You can't blame him necessarily, but just to be clear on like what the situation is.
Yeah, so it'd be nice if we could figure out like that's why it's like it'd be nice if maybe we start from the beginning of like if we want to put together like a grants website and stuff like that, which I think we should probably start thinking from the aspect of like, okay, how do we get control of it ourselves, and how do we, you know, create a best situation to where, yeah, like you said, we don't have to like go through various channels. Because like can I find somebody that can like add some stuff to the DAOPunk's website for us? Like sure, but you know, every single time we want to change some stuff, it's gonna be annoying, you know.
Yeah, that's actually a common pain point that I've discovered working for like across DAOs is like when it comes to actually implementing something into the website, there's just something about it every time that makes it take like 2 weeks when it's like you thought you were going to be able to launch this product in like a week and effectively you did your part, but then there's just like this coordination failure that happens between all of the layers of web development. And it just I don't know, for some reason that just is a I can't think of a reason why that should be true all the time, but it seems common.
Yeah, I'm actually maybe we just need to fix the root problem here. Like maybe I need to reach out to Redvan and see like, hey, you know, let's get this DNS transferred to me. Um, and then, you know, maybe the next step also after that, while we're kind of building out this DAOPunk grant site, maybe I need to also go reach out to the developers guild over at Bankless and say the same thing. Like, hey, what do I need to do to get the DAOPunk's website like forked onto something that I have control over, so that at least there's some centralized control. Because you know we all know that I'm not going anywhere, and so if you know I'll gladly pass over control to like any of you guys here, but at least we're not having to like rely on a bunch of other people who are not active over here.
Yeah, because like Cryers was ready to do some work a couple weeks ago, and we just didn't have like access. But if we had access, then we could have just done it, a while ago.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to just transfer it then, because honestly, like nobody's using the website or anything. Well, they kind of are for the shirt claims. Those are actually still happening like every day. I just need to figure out a way to transfer the DNS without affecting the website for too long. And then once I have control over it, then we can change stuff. And two, like I used to do a bunch of web development stuff too. So like I have the capability to go in and change stuff myself as well. So it's like if you guys came to me and said like, hey, let's change like the mint button to, you know, like go to the grant page, like that's something I could do in like a couple hours. So I think yeah, maybe I need to just pull the band-aid off and just finally just get this stuff transferred over. So maybe that's the best solution here for the long run. Maybe I just reach out to Redvan to see like what it takes to transfer the DNS. I don't think it's much. I'm more feeling him out to see like if he's ever done it before. And I'm gonna work on getting that done over the next couple days here. Or is that gonna slow us down?
That's a good question.
Or maybe we just set up the tally form on a separate domain for now. And then because let's be honest too, like it's more of just like a cosmetic thing. Like if it's a Dowpunks domain or if it's another domain that's owned by Dowpunks, it's really a cosmetic thing. As long as we're socially signaling people to the link from like Discord or Twitter, then I don't think people really care what the link says. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like can we buy dowpunks.xyz? Those are like 99 cents a year or something, the XYZ extensions.
Yeah, I can go buy it right now. And then let's just use that for now. And then what I'll do is I'll work on getting like all of the other stuff transferred to me over the next couple days to a week. And then once we have everything in my control, then we can sit down and we can discuss if we even want to like, attach it to that domain or not. And we can do that anyways. We can still have like both links pointing to the same service. So I also have dowpunks.eth. So if we wanted to use a .eth domain, but I know that that's not like it's not widely usable on most browsers.
Yeah, I think that only works in Brave or
Yeah, which I don't even use that either. So
mm. Okay, so just to recap, that whole idea is um, option one, or option like this idea that we're describing is set up a new domain and a new website that we can use for all of our grants stuff. So it'll be the grants landing page and it'll host the application. Um, I think even if we did that, we'd still want a button on the home page that takes you to um, that grants landing page. But I guess that wouldn't be 100% necessary because we're
I don't think
mostly
that's a heavy lift. We could do that.
okay.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess you don't need anything from anybody to do that. So that's easy. So then the other option is to create the landing page and get the DNS records implanted to
I
create
think
apply.dowpunks.io.
and dowpunks.io. I think Redvan has all the um, I think I'm just gonna ask him about those other ones too, because if he has the other ones and those aren't being used, he can transfer those to me fairly easily as well. So how about this? Just give me 24 hours with Redvan on the DNS, and if we don't get something resolved with Redvan in 24 hours, then I will purchase a domain that we can use for the tally form for at least the interim here.
Okay, how about 18 hours? So it can be ready by the next grants call tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. Right, like I said, Red Van's Eastern time, so am I. So it's only 6 o'clock here. So he should, if he doesn't get back to me tonight, he should be able to get back to me by tomorrow morning.
Sounds good. Does anybody else have any input on those ideas?
Either way, this is good though. It's forcing me to get some of this stuff, kind of loose ends, kind of buttoned up. So
Yeah, I mean, if it's possible, it all makes sense to me. I mean, I'm not too savvy on the back end stuff, and I apologize. I have to be. So I'm sidetracked with a work meeting right now too. So just for the next like 10 minutes, then I'll be more engaged.
cool. Yeah, I mean, either way, I really don't think people are going to care what the link says. I think even if you used like a generic tally link, people that want to get grants are gonna go to it. So I think these are just cosmetic in my opinion, but we'll get it done.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, ultimately, like it could just be that whatever announcement that we make is the grants explainer, and the link to the form is a tally URL, and that's totally an option. And if we did
Yeah, I mean,
if we
like for
did that, we
instance,
could just do that right
Opolis.
now.
I mean, like Opolis, for instance, Opolis has a form on their webpage for how they like are getting some information from you, and when you click on the link, it takes you to an opolis.typeform.com link. So that's not even on their own subdomain, you know. And Opolis is a pretty well known, pretty well respected DAO, so I don't think it's a big deal. So if we want to, we could always say like plan A will be that we can get this form on its own on the DAOpunk subdomain, or plan B, if that's not done in time, like we shouldn't let that delay us. Let's just run with just a normal tally link.
I'm in the camp of what you're saying is that, look, everyone knows this is a beta first round. Like if they want it, I don't think there's going to be too many people that are like, no, I'm not even going to bother because they have this domain or subdomain. I don't think it's that big for the beta round.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think so, Myco? Just like, let's not let it hold us back, but I will actively work on trying to get it solved. And if it's not solved for beta, it'll at least be solved for alpha.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
sorry, this is more alpha. The other one's beta.
Okay, right. Well, I think I've definitely considered this an option from the beginning, but I personally am kind of like an aesthetic purist, and I feel like there is a lot of value in the subtle aesthetics. Like I think that this is like honestly like the biggest part of brand cultivation and like narrative design is like the subtle details that make people feel kind of just good about what they're engaging with. And this has to do with that, but it's not something that I'm like gonna be I think we need to prioritize like launching this thing, and I'd be totally fine with just keeping the tally domain and the ugly little hyperlink that it creates when you
Well, I guess the way I'd say it is that yes, I see the value in it, and I think it's crucial for long term. And even just personally from websites I engage with, aesthetics do make a big difference. But uh,
yeah,
I
I
think
agree
that's
at
more
this
like long term.
stage it's not as important for sure. Yeah, and I'm okay with it.
I'm fine with GeoCities right now.
But it's still not out of the question though. So let me just work with Red Van here and just see. The only thing I'm concerned about transferring the DNS is like we have some like specialized like API services and stuff set up for the shirt claim. I just want to make sure I don't break anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how all that stuff works, so.
Neither do I. All I know is that it's working right now.
Yeah, right. Just don't touch it. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
you don't fix what's not broken.
But the alternative, like the middle, it seems like the middle ground solution is to create a new domain for grants that doesn't break the homepage, that doesn't break the original site, and allows us to host the application at a DAOpunk domain and customize the hyperlink. And that option was pretty
Yeah.
easy, right? Like we may already own one of those, or we buy DAOpunks.xyz, and I don't know whether would we want to clone the homepage or just do DAOpunkgrants.xyz.
Yeah, we could. I mean, why don't we, so we don't go too much into the weeds with this, why don't we just, do we have anything else we need to talk about? And then I already have a message out to Red Van, so let's just see what he says back.
Okay.
Cool.
We can
Okay.
talk about our timeline.
Let's see.
Garrot posted some nice calendar images here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Why don't we just confirm that before I go ahead and make it like an editable doc type thing? I mean, I know I sent it to Hero, but I can repost it in the community text here.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
It's sitting in. First of all, hi guys. It's sitting in the grants channel from 327.
Okay.
Or I'll just reply and tag you guys. Yeah. Crypto.
I'm sorry I missed the first couple of minutes. Are we on track? It doesn't sound like maybe we're on track for next week, so these dates shift. Is that right?
Seems like they're gonna have to shift, unless
Yeah.
unless crypto whips up some CB whips up some magic by tomorrow, and we're like,
Are you just talking about the
Oh, no.
domain? I think, I mean, I think we landed that it, well, I don't know. I guess maybe we should finish that conversation then. I mean, so if we don't get it on the subdomain, then I guess the next best option is what you're thinking, Myco, just set up our own subdomain. I mean, because I can do that or our own domain. I mean, I can do
I think
that
that's
right now.
Well, that's what you were talking about, right? I mean, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
The first idea, right? Or was I misunderstanding?
Okay, well then, yeah, no, it is. I mean, let's look right now and see which ones are available. So I mean,
I think in the end, like, I mean, I'm with Myco on this one though. Like, if it's a week delay, but the aesthetics are super tight, I think it's worth it. I mean, I don't know. Like, whenever I'm at a kind of a janky spot, it makes me feel not super good inside my heart, which I know doesn't matter. If it like totally matters,
It
right?
matters. It matters, Hero. Your heart matters.
And thanks, I appreciate that, Myco. But yeah, like I think that part of what makes DAO punks attractive is like a lot of the aesthetics have been thought about, and like arguably, I mean, the aesthetics of the NFT project itself are what have drawn people here and have made them stay here. Now I know we can argue whether that's true or not, like, and I know it's only part of the equation, but like the art's fucking dope, and I don't think we can like all of a sudden make a decision and say, well, aesthetics don't matter, because I think they do, and I think we've kind of built part of our brand on that. So I would
That's
rather,
true.
like chill a week on it, get it all dialed in, make it the way you want it, make it feel good and be pretty, and then launch it rather than going with like Kali or something else. So that's my thought. I mean, what's another week? Like, who cares? And if it looks super hot after another week, like, great, +1.
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, it'd be nice to have control of this stuff, because then we could make it nicer. Because there are some updates that need to be made to the website anyways.
Totally.
So
Yeah, you
I guess
yeah.
if we went to market with the website being like all refreshed and looking good, and also like the grants form all kind of like on brand as well, that would be good. So I agree.
It would be so good, dude. And like the website thing is something that like just in the back of my brain kind of bugs me every once in a while. Like you guys were saying, like the mint button or the roadmap, or there's parts, not the roadmap, but there's parts of the website that are just outdated, right?
You guys aren't even on on the team, like the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The team, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
We
I
should
think
have
that's the least of my.
We should have a big family portrait of like the whole DAO and like all the. We could like take the last snapshot vote and we just include all of the DAO punks that were involved in
That would be sweet.
the last snapshot vote and put them in the team category. I mean, we're getting into the weeds now with stuff, but
Well, that'd be hot, right? So yeah, I mean, I think we take the time to make update the website, get the application on brand, and then like everything is harmonizing in a way that's very pleasant, right? And the vibes are right, and yeah, I don't know. It makes my head relax just imagining that, like cool. I mean, guys, we're gonna do a bunch of these, and then once we start getting cult DAO involved in Gitcoin, like who knows, right? It could be quite a little engine here. So why not take care of it now rather than worry about it during cohort 1 or 2?
So he already replied. He said, yeah, that's fine. So
nice.
I need to I've done plenty of DNS transfers before in the past, but I just forget. So I need to just like refresh myself on how to do it without messing up stuff.
Well,
then
one of our
I'm good.
options is that we don't have to transfer the DNS stuff yet. If
No, let's just do it,
if
dude. We got to pull the
okay.
Band-Aid off.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah, we
And
might
then,
as well.
Yeah. All right, we'll do it, and then we can change Mint to grants, and we can create a grants intro page.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna reach out to the Developers Guild and figure out like how I can get control of our website, because yeah, we need to do some stuff to it.
Right.
I think that's something I could probably do. So I'm gonna do that right now as well.
Nice. Yeah, I just also wanted to echo the sentiment expressed about the quality of the aesthetic that you guys cultivated for DAO Punks. Like it's like mint, like it's super good. Like the aesthetic quality of the whole project is like excellent. So yeah, that was like a big thing that really
I
attracted me
appreciate it.
as
Yeah,
well. Yeah, you guys did an amazing job.
we had Flock. Flock did our website. Flock did such a good job. Like their whole team, they're like a creative agency. They did
Okay.
They did such a good job.
Nice.
And then we had the Dev Guild from Bankless DAO also did a lot of stuff on it as well.
Nice.
But I need to get back in touch with them and start getting some of that under control. Because you know how a DAO is, right? It's like you got these people over here were doing the website, so they all set it up the way that they thought it should be set up, and then we were doing the other stuff, and so now it's like now that they're not really involved anymore, it's like, oh, okay, we got to rope that back in somehow.
Nice. Yep,
The website is safe though. It's on the Bankless DAO hosting, so that is safe. But and it's nice too because DAOPunk doesn't have to pay for it either. We're not paying for the hosting, which is nice. But I'd rather pay for it and be in control of it than the reverse.
Okay.
That's literally the sentiment of not your keys, not your Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, it feels weird saying that because we're DAO punks. It's like decentralized, but it does. I mean, when something's too decentralized, it becomes like you can't even use it.
Yeah, it's never useful to be like an extremist on ideals. Like it's always like a gray. It's always like something in between. It's like, yeah, it's convenient to have an exchange hold your keys for a variety of reasons, and sometimes that's the right decision for some people under some circumstances. But also,
Yeah.
at the same time, this other thing is also true that blah blah blah. So
Yeah. Well, the way I would see it is like decentralized. Like I'm fine with like having control of the DAOPunk website, but like if any of you guys wanted to collectively make a change, I'm not gonna like say no. Like I'll do it. So that's how I would define decentralized for now, I guess, until a good decentralized web post comes out, which would be great, by the way, because that seems to be another giant vector for DAOs. Like they say the project's decentralized, but then the website's owned by a singular person. So it's like, well, you're not fully decentralized.
yeah, it's interesting. It's like once the once the platforms that we use to coordinate our efforts are also Web3, then we can use like our wallet credentials to manage permissions trustlessly across those platforms. But like until then, you just kind of have like admins on the different um, applications that we're using across Web2. It's interesting.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys know, is Ice Cool? Is Ice Cool one of the main contributors over at the Developers Guild and BDAO? I think he is.
I don't know that I would say that. And maybe. I mean, I know that he's like the main dude for tokenomics. Maybe
Okay,
for the
I'm
dev
keeping
guild. I don't know.
Okay.
I know he's a nice dude, and if you pinged him, he'd let you know.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, he is. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna get that stuff under control finally, once and for all. All right, so I messaged Redvan. I'm gonna work with Redvan on DNS, and I messaged Ice Cool, and I'm telling him that we want to make changes to the website. And I will get both of those things moving. I promise.
Sounds awesome.
Cool.
What do we think we're looking at for practical timing? Does this kick us maybe like 2 weeks out?
I don't know about 2 weeks, to be honest. I mean, we're talking about like some simple things here in the grand scheme.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I'm just asking. Like, I mean, I honestly at this point don't care if it's 2 more weeks or not. I just am wondering, sort of, so I can place mental maps in my head of where my attention needs to be in a little bit.
But what else is outstanding?
I forgot, did somebody volunteer at one of the last meetings to put together the grants explainer, or were we just talking about it?
No, I did.
Oh, okay, cool.
But now, are you saying we should put it on the? Are we gonna? Well, I mean, I could still write out the content, but where should I post it?
You should put it in
The
the
Git book, or
in the coordinator's guide to cohort 0.
okay. Yeah, I need to work on that tonight.
Okay.
No doubt.
Cool. If you do, I guess we could talk about it tomorrow at tomorrow's meeting and get it dialed in.
Yeah.
But if not, I think it sounds like we have another week as well to do.
No, I'll have an update for tomorrow's meeting, though.
Async collab on that. Maybe as a Google Doc.
So what is? Sorry.
What did you say? Go ahead.
I think there's a delay. No, I was just going to say, so what is outstanding? So we've got the website and the subdomain. Obviously, that's one thing. It sounds like this explainer doc is another thing. What else is there? Is that it? Those just those two things, and then we're ready to kind of.
And the explainer doc is already mostly done from where it's just more like assembling and refining. So
okay. And so other than those two things, we're ready to go after those two things are done.
Oh, Michael, do you have the list pulled up? The list of tasks. If not, I could pull it up, but I think we're definitely getting close here.
Yeah, and then once you guys are done with that, maybe the next thing is we should, and I think this goes into what you wanted to talk about with the calendar. Let's talk about like what's the flow going to be here, regardless of like what the exact date is of launch, like assuming, you know, whatever, an arbitrary date, like what happens.
Yeah, let's talk in absolutes, not in like specific dates, but I did post those again in the community voice.
Okay, I'm checking those out.
So we can look at what the flow actually is. But yeah, Micah, are you? Yeah, let me get it pulled up now. My other thing's finally done.
Did you
this
ever
delay has been good, honestly, too, for us. The treasury balance has gone up a much bigger dollar value now than it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Some nice momentum going, like a lot of positive.
Yeah, at least
momentum.
You can say the 1 ETH that they get is worth more than $3,000. It's a pretty good chunk.
Yeah, totally. Honestly, it would have sucked to launch this and then have like ETH just crabbing its way down. So maybe if we're all lucky, we're looking at like another bull run here. So it would be a great time to start this in the next like couple weeks.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so Garrett, how's the spreadsheet of application submissions looking? I mean, that's something that we can probably format as we're receiving applications as well, but that was one of our checklist items.
Do we have for the tally? Should I just fill out some test samples for that then?
Yeah, sure. But
okay. Yeah.
It should have a spit out, which just basically identifies each column as each question and each row as each submission. And I think it's just a matter of like formatting that spreadsheet so that it looks, so that the information that the screeners need can be easily readable.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm still okay. Here's one thing that I did think about it, but about the anonymity piece. Random. Anonymizing the applications. I know that we kind of touched on that last meeting. Because I'm happy to just strip the Discord usernames until the finalists, and I don't have any special considerations myself, or I don't have people applying that I know of, but I I could strip all the I could anonymize them still for the committee, or are we just saying that that's not really feasible? Because the finalists will definitely have to be tied to the Discord username, right? Like, so they could, do these AMA things, or like have people asking questions about them. Like, what did we land somewhere on that? Like, specifically about the first batch, before the finalists. Should I keep that anonymous, like, strip the Discord and email and stuff before like posting it to the grants channel?
Let's see. What are you posting to the grants channel exactly? You're posting
Or
the
where
spreadsheet
are
with
we
all
gonna?
of the application results? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, unless.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know where else we were planning on viewing them or reviewing them, really,
Right.
because it seemed like coordinate wasn't really a good strategy. Using the website, trying to build that whole like website viewing mechanism. That was the only thing you know, I don't really know how to do that
No, yeah. I think we're
on
trying to
an
keep it
anonymous
simple,
basis.
but I guess we haven't quite exactly identified who is going to be doing the screening. And
All
I
right,
think
maybe we should talk
we
about
could
that. Yeah.
include, I think there might be some people interested who aren't at the meeting now as well that would want to do it. So if we just posted it publicly in the grants and said whoever wants to participate can, then maybe there's more of a need to anonymize, to like blank out the emails until we know who the finalists are. Then you can send them the email address. But if it's like 5 people and all the applications are only visible to them, then it's not as necessary. I don't know.
Like, well, okay, so personally, I'd like to be part of the screening committee. Let me start there. Um, was the thought that because we were building this that we shouldn't be, or like, could I be on the screening committee, for example?
I think that's fine. I think the assumption was that
Yeah,
we were going to
I
be the
think so.
screening committee.
Yeah, we're
Well,
too small
that's
to
what
be
I thought.
kicking anyone out.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check, because yeah, I definitely wanted to check out check out the applications, help, you know,
Yeah, I would like
just
to as well. I think I'm fairly certain, and I don't want to talk for anybody, but I'm fairly certain kind of all of us here are probably interested to kind of see what we get.
Yeah, I'm interested, so I can participate in the screening committee.
so
Well.
let me put it this way, Bushi. Then, so if I'm going to send you, the list of or the file of all the applications and the data, would you prefer that it was anonymized, or does it make no difference to you?
I guess it doesn't really make a difference to me, to be honest, because somebody could just still lie. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not like we're KYCing anybody, so it's pretty much all anonymous regardless, right?
Yeah.
The idea was that, like, let's say if Hero was applying for the grant, that during that first round, we wouldn't like favor him just because we know the name. We would just be looking at the text without seeing it like, oh, that's Hero's application.
Yeah, I mean, in that specific type of case, it would help to weed them out.
Exactly. Come on, man. I mean, Garrett, what you're really getting at, right, is if you see your application come in, you're worried about it being influenced one way or the other that way, right?
Well, just this came up a while back.
Yeah, no, right, like the conflict of interest stuff and all of that, and so I just think that, we can kind of bash our heads together worrying about that too much, but, ultimately, I mean, I think that, like, as a practical matter, like, let's just be honest. If we see your application, we're going to approve it, and it's going to go snapshot for the community to make a choice on, right? And so, we're just we're a one part of the hopper, and so fine, like it's okay. In an ideal world, yeah, maybe they're all randomized and anonymous, but
Okay.
Well, if we're worried about that, like, I mean, are you going to apply? Is that like a real thing? Are you going to apply
No,
for the
I'm actually not.
Okay. I mean, is anybody here planning on applying? I mean, you might as well say now, because if you're going to, we're going to see it anyways. So
I think LiveFast, were you or
I mean,
who? Somebody was talking about wanting to apply. Was it? Or
I
maybe
don't think it's bad.
no.
I was
I think
talking about it at one point, but I don't think I'm going to.
Why
I don't
not?
want to
Garrett, were you
discourage anybody from it. I just would rather know so that we could get ahead of any potential, we can start thinking about it at least now and figuring out ways, different, I guess, arguments to and against,
But why not?
Yeah.
Why did you decide not to LiveFast?
I don't think I have a good enough idea for it.
Oh.
I don't really see a need for it.
My partner was trying to encourage me to apply for it, but I felt like I was too involved in everything that goes in the backstage and it made me feel weird, the thought. So I said that I'll probably wait for another cohort if I still need to, and not be so involved in the development process.
Yeah, that was my thought. Like maybe future ones for me, but I'll be trying to work on keeping it running during the cohort too. I kind of already have my DAO laid out, responsibilities laid out for me.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
apply, but
I
now
don't-
I'm full-time DAO and I'm good, so I don't need it.
You're already there.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Yeah, and you're in Mexico too. The dollar goes pretty far there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I hate to hear that because like, I don't want. It's like one of those things where it's like people contribute because others wouldn't, but then now they're like almost disqualifying themselves because they feel bad because they were the ones that contributed. It's like it's just, what I mean? It just sounds bad to me. I can totally get where you guys are coming from. That it's like you don't want to be like, yeah, we put together this grant program and congratulations, I'm granting myself. Like I can also see that, but
Well, that's that's a plus
I guess,
one to the idea of anonymizing the information, because then you can still apply and it's the only thing that's being considered is the quality of your idea, and that's what's being seen. And then there doesn't have to be as much of a conflict of interest there.
well, maybe we do that then, because honestly, I don't know. I feel like, again, like, you guys have all been working so hard, and even the ones here that have gotten paid so little. So it's not like, that if you guys need money, and we really all need money in the end of the day, it's like I don't want to discourage you guys from applying because you guys helped put it together. It's like, because if you guys didn't put it together, nobody else was coming out of the woodworks to want to do it. So, it's not really fair to you guys personally either. So maybe we should anonymize it then, and then that way we just pick via just feeling instead of.
All right. And the only reason I brought this up, that you were asking about outstanding, like what's left. That if we were to launch like tomorrow, what's left, and that was still something I was thinking about, like whatever tool we're going to use to view the applications. That's the only reason I brought this up. So, Myco, is it So if I strip the, if I anonymize it, strip the contact info and then just share, and I'll randomize the order again, like I said, like, so it's not like, oh, the first person applies at the top of everyone's list. I mean, just randomize the order, anonymize it, and post it, so we can review it. Maybe
Yeah.
the vote tallying is as simple as, well, you put a +1 in your column, and each, like, committee, review committee, they have their own column to put in their 10 points or something, and then they can allocate those just in Excel. I mean,
Right.
why don't we just do it that simply?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. In that case, you'd have to have a column for each member of the screening committee, so that each member would be identified ahead of time. And
Yeah, you have a spot for point, allocating
yeah,
your points or whatever, and then a space for writing notes or reasoning.
I still think there should be 2 phases, because I think it's the most labor efficient way to do it is to, let's say, for example, there's 5 people on the screening committee and we receive 100 applications. You assign 1 through 20 to one person and 21 through 40 to someone else. You divide it between everybody, and everybody goes and deletes all of the disqualified ones, or mark, you don't have to delete it, but mark it as disqualified, so that we don't have to all do that same task more than once on all the applications. So we just, first we go through and remove any that are obviously don't qualify, and then we do the each person goes through all of them and marks their
Well,
nominees.
I mean, shouldn't should we just cross that bridge when we see how many applications we get, as far as like dividing it up? I mean,
Yeah, or yeah, I guess if
because we
it's
don't
few
really
enough,
know
we
right
could just
now.
have one person go through and remove the unqualified ones, because you don't need, you know what I mean? It's like you have to go through all of them and remove the irrelevant ones, but you don't need multiple people going through multiple times to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's fine with me. I'd say let's just keep it simple. I'll anonymize it. That's easy to do, and then we'll just use Excel as the way to, as like a collaborating
Okay.
tool for reviewing the
So we'll
apps.
say you effectively, we could make you be the only person who has access to the contact information, which just kind of helps preserve people's privacy. And then you would be the one, if this were the case, then you would be the one to send out those confirmation emails to folks.
Okay.
And then, because you would blank out the contact information and then give us the copy of the spreadsheet that doesn't have that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then once we pick our
maybe there's even an
finalists, then-
option. I wonder. Let me explore that. But do you think there's even an option, like when I'm exporting the data, is there an option to just not include it in one version or something? Or I'll check that out.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's it. That would be a tally about how, the data is going to come from tally, right?
Yeah, it's going to come from Tally, but it's going to get populated into a Google Sheet.
Yeah, I'm talking about, if there's ways to, choose what they're going to populate, or if it's just they're automatically going to push all the data from the
Yeah, they
app.
push. That's just how we get the. I mean, we can get the form submissions through their website interface as well, but I think that we could just have, because you and me are the only one who has those Tally credentials at this point, or a CryptoBushi, I think, whatever. Anyway, the team has access to that, and then we can just clone, like you can format that spreadsheet and then just make a copy and delete the columns with the contact information, and that's the copy that you send to the screening committee.
Works for me.
Does that work?
It's exciting. We're like almost there. We're not talking anymore about like theory.
Yeah.
We're like talking about like actual
Nitty
what
gritty.
we're doing, which is cool.
Yes.
So I guess, let's see, Hero, did you have any comments or changes that you wanted to add in for those like disclosures, or no rush on it? I mean, just wondering if you looked at it.
No, I didn't. Let me look now. Are they in the grants channel?
Yeah.
Grants and probably both. Community voice. Let's see.
Grants. I remember you tagged him. There was a lot of different cross conversations happening in the Grants channel at that time.
That's right.
Got
Let's
him. Okay.
see.
From 325.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, I'll just do a quick edit and redrop it.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much all I got for right now. Just getting excited, getting close
Yeah.
here.
Me too. I'll work on the website side of things. And hopefully get that done here over the weekend at the latest. And
Garrett,
then I'm gonna work with Ice Cool too to get some stuff changed.
Nice. If you post that Grant's intro as like a Google Doc, whoever wants to collaborate on it can kind of comment and suggest edits async.
All right, it works for me.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that right after this meeting.
Nice.
So I'll at least get up the draft. But like I said, it's pretty much just pulling together things we've all worked on already or debated already. So
yeah, there's
more or less
there's a
just
pretty good amount of
getting the
content.
final, making it look nice.
Yeah. The aesthetic design I had in mind was like, we have the home page. On the top, there's the mint button, but that would be grants. And then it would take you to a page that has the same top menu bar, DAOPunk's logo on the top left, the socials on the top right, and the same artwork in the background, but the image on top of that graffiti would just change to be the text in white that describes our grants program. And then with like a little red button that links to the application. And then the application would also have that same black and white graffiti background with white text on top of it. So it'd be like a really fluid, just the same background throughout all of the pages. And
yeah,
I feel like it would look really nice.
Yeah, as far as that, backgrounds, fonts, like I'm all for making it look coherent and pretty, and it's definitely important. Well, coherent's the wrong word. I hope it would be coherent, but just for like it's all matching.
Nice.
Cool. All right, well, finished a minute early then, guys.
Perfect timing.
So, and just real quick, guys, I'm sorry. So with these disclaimers, because we're doing the second half of the grant through Coordinate, does that final disclaimer of in the event a grantee does not follow through with their roadmap, etc., can withhold distribution of the second half of the grant? I mean, is that actually true now that we're coordinating?
Well, I think it would mean that by default, like if someone takes the first distribution, disappears, I imagine by default, no one would give them anything in the coordinate.
Well, that's my thought too, and that's why I guess I'm saying that. But maybe being explicit's okay, because I mean, what we're saying is like we'll just remove you from the coordinate round, right?
Yeah, or we can do that. I guess the point was to make it, make it at least one make there be an option so that it's not an option, but just a disclaimer or something that it's possible not to get any funding in the second round. Like if you basically just take the first payment and run. We're not obligated to include you in the second round of Coordinate if you have disappeared. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I
I
think it
know
makes
what
sense.
you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, do we need that language in there or not? It sounds like maybe we want it in there.
Yeah, I think it's important, at
What
least.
I'm concerned about is it subjective, right? And so then you're going to get into some, fucking arguments with grantees going, well, I did this, I did that, but I didn't, yeah. And then you're just going back and forth with no real way to,
Yeah.
argue back, right? Other than you're just like throwing crap at each other. So I think for me, like, it would be better just to allow the community to decide whether someone who absconds deserves to get Coordinate funds. And then you could plead with the community to not do that. But I
Right.
would be
Yeah.
concerned to do it otherwise, right? Because then you're just in a he said, she said battle that no one wins.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think that part of the disclaimer should say that maybe the wording would be more like the second half of the grant distribution is contingent on your, I don't know. So I think it's important for them to know that they might not get the full amount and they might get nothing. Like basically summarize the whole point of the Coordinate round as concisely as possible. The community will decide how to allocate the second half of the grant based on like grantees' performance in executing their roadmap or something like that.
But like, don't we already have that language somewhere else? I mean, my only question is like, do we need it for disclaimer? Already clear somewhere else?
Okay.
I just don't think we do, right?
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, as long as it's
for the reasons you
clear
stated.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Isn't it clear somewhere else?
It should
Don't
be
I
clear.
remember
I
that?
think
Or am I wrong?
I kind of was saving that for the intro.
Yeah.
Explainer.
That's what I thought. So I still think it's like a disclaimer thing, just because, I mean, this is the process, and if you, okay, so I'll take it out.
Okay. Yep. But I'll play around with the language in that first page, that the explainer doc. So I'll have Myco or even you check it out too once I put that together. But I agree, it shouldn't be in the those final little blurbs.
Okay, I just put them. I put a slight revisions back into the grant channel.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, this is very exciting. So, like, what are we working on tomorrow?
We're going to check back in about the website situation, and we're going to talk about the grants intro.
Like the explainer page. Yeah. I'm going to put that together so we can have one last look and just, hopefully just green light it. If there's no other debates on that, then I think it's open season pretty much. But yeah, awesome. So tomorrow definitely we'll check in with where CB's at. We'll check in with go over the explainer doc language, maybe go over the calendar. But review it tonight if you do see the calendar, Bushi, and if anything sticks out, or even Myco and Live Fast. I don't know if you guys checked it out, but obviously I'll adjust the dates, the actual specific dates accordingly. But as far as like the absolute, time periods and distances between checkpoints, maybe just double check that for me. But yeah, that's all I got.
It's so close, I can taste it, guys. Like,
it's going to be so much fun. You guys reading the application submissions is going to be a blast.
I agree. I can't wait. I know it's me. I always wonder, like, it's probably super inefficient to do it sync, but it'd be really fun to go through them together.
I was just thinking that.
one at a time.
Yeah.
Like I think that.
Or
We
at
got a
least
nice conference call all together and just be like, "Yup, like this is dumb. This is awesome."
like we're all reading async,
Totally.
but then we're just like, "Hey, you guys, like check out this one." It's like, whoa.
I know. So let's think about that. I mean, I guess maybe it depends really how many applications we get, whether we can do sync sorting. But sync sorting, I think, would be dope. And it seems like it'd be more inefficient, but I think actually in the end it might be more efficient, depending on the number of applications.
Well, according to like the way that Garrett laid out the calendar here, we would have 2 days to work async, and then Thursday would be one of our regular scheduled grants meetings, and then Friday would also be a grants meeting, and then we'd have 2 additional days after that until the 15 finalists are chosen. So it might work out nicely.
Yeah, we could repurpose some of the grants time. Like the meeting time, I mean.
Yeah.
But cool. All right, guys, I gotta run. I'll catch y'all tomorrow.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Great work. See you later.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, super dope, guys.
Nice
Good
meeting
friends.
you guys.
Bye.
Hey, Mina.
Bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
Mina.
everyone.
Mhm.
Bye.